Amber Cove Publishing presents The Secrets of Supervilliny, the Supervilliny Series Book 3, written by C.T. Phipps, performed by Jeffrey Kafer. Chapter 1. Always open with a big fight scene. Sister Christian's eyes glowed, and she laughed before shooting a column of flame at my head. Her attempt to kill me with fire didn't work out quite the way she expected. Instead, it resulted in her flames striking against my own conjured snowstorm. Dropping my briefcase full of stolen diamonds, I held up my arm and used it as a shield, while throwing every bit of magic I could into producing an icy defense. The results were a massive cloud of steam that blanketed the entirety of the room. If you're wondering why I was having a fight with a woman who owed royalties to Night Ranger for the misuse of their song in the middle of an abandoned cathedral, it was part of a much larger story that can be summarized as me trying to buy a magic rock which could resurrect my late wife Mandy. I am Gary Karkovsky, a.k.a. Merciless, the supervillain without mercy. Trademark. And I'm not going to let a silly thing like death stop me from bringing my wife back, especially since I was Death's #1 minion. "Gary, look out!" Cindy called as she threw the London werewolf over her shoulder with a judo throw. Cindy Wachowski, a.k.a. Red Riding Hood, a.k.a. my favorite henchwench, had cleaned up her act tremendously since Mandy's death. Cindy had returned to medicine and now spent a lot of her time treating the destitute in a free clinic. She'd also given up some of her ill-gotten gains to help disadvantaged students complete their degrees in medicine. Perhaps the craziest part is she'd taken to fighting crime as well, serving as a semi-noble superheroine in between helping me in my various schemes against the city's rich. I didn't know how she managed to find time for it all. "That woman loves you. I hope you realize that." Cloak, magic cloak, said. He was the ghost of the superhero known as the Nightwalker, and the only source of sanity in my otherwise insane life. Not that I listened to him much. "We're not like that," I said, feeling the steam burn the side of my face. "Perhaps you could be if you were willing to give it a chance." I sighed, shaking my head and wiping some water from my face. "I'm a married man." "I see." I could tell Cloak didn't. He seemed to think this was my going through the various stages of grief, that Mandy was someone I would eventually accept the death of, that I'd move on to someone else. I loved Cindy, maybe as much as I'd loved my ex-fiancée Gabrielle, but Mandy was my life. I'd gotten her killed and I couldn't stop until I made this right. If she really was gone forever, then I didn't deserve to be happy. "Oh, Gary," Cloak said, hearing my thoughts. "Forget you heard that," I said, dodging behind a pew as Sister Christian, dressed up today as a fetish-wear version of a nun's attire, flew over the steam cloud and threw a storm of fireballs down at me. I barely managed to stay ahead of them, feeling like someone dodging out of the way of a World War II plane's gunfire in an Indiana Jones pastiche. "The Stone of Eldra is mine, Merciless!" The left-handed Bokor laughed, his zombie henchmen moaning despite their mouths being sewn shut. He was the guy responsible for Sister Christian, the London werewolf, and all the other guys trying to kill us right now. He was also the guy I'd been trying to buy the magic rock from. "No force on earth or the heavens will separate it from my power." The left-handed Bokor defied stereotype for a voodoo-practicing wizard by looking more like Jay-Z than Baron Samedi. He wore a $10,000 white suit and shoes with a Panama hat that seemed to shine every bit as much as the diamonds on his 12 or so rings. All of them contained imprisoned souls he drained for energy. One of the downsides of my ghost-themed powers was I could hear them moaning from here. "You offered to sell the stone to me, numbnuts!" I shouted, not really up to my usual game insult-wise. "We've all been hurting since the fall." "I got a better offer!" the Bokor shouted. It had been a year since the fall, when Falcon Crest City was overrun by zombies, the great beast Zul Barbus killed, and the Brotherhood of Infamy destroyed. None of it mattered because it had come at the cost of what I treasured most in the world. Mandy Karkovsky, my wife, had died sacrificing herself to save my best friend Cindy. I hadn't taken it lying down, and it had resulted in her resurrection. Of sorts. Despite what comic books and television have portrayed, death is not as easy a thing to recover from in our world. Cloak continued to speak. It may be time to let Mandy go. Never!